How's it, everyone? Welcome to another racket review right here on Open Court. I'm Kent, and today I'm reviewing a new racket, an update to one of my favorite racket lines of the recent generation. That racket is the 2024 Head Boom Pro. Let's check it out. So first, I want to give a quick shout out to On Point Sports here in Hawaii. They let me demo this racket to test, and they have a great selection of tennis gear, rackets, strings, shoes, all the latest gear that you can think of. And they have a great selection, so if you guys are ever in Hawaii, check out On Point Sports for your tennis related needs. Alright, so this is the 2024 edition, the Auxetic 2.0 Head Boom Pro. And I actually really liked the previous generation of this, and it was the very first racket review on this channel, so I feel like I kind of came full circle. And I like the previous edition so much that I actually bought it, and it's the most recent racket that I've bought. I bought it about 2 years ago, and I still use it to this day during my league matches. It's either the Boom Pro or the Speed Pro. That's my favorite racket. I'm still kind of leaning towards the Speed because I like that tighter pattern, especially with the update to the Speed with the new balance. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the Boom. So I got both editions, the Auxetic 1 and 2. This is the previous edition, and as you can see, the paint job, they didn't really do a whole lot of new things with the paint. They kind of just swapped the top and bottom, so the grip or the throat part of the new one is black, whereas the previous one was teal, and that's fine. I don't really think they need to get overly crazy with the paint. The specs are also exactly the same. We'll touch on that later. The previous edition had the Auxetic in the bridge over here, but now they've also added it towards the end of the handle to give it more feel. The Boom is known for its unique head shape. It's kind of like a reverse teardrop shape, so it's really wide at the 10 and 2 o'clock positions here, which gives it a nice wide sweet spot. And that's why I really like it, because it gives me a lot more real estate to swing aggressively and not worry about mishitting too much. And it also still has that morph beam technology and the graphene 360 technology from the previous editions, which I'm not going to go too much in depth on that because it's just carrying over from the previous generation. There isn't really much of an overhaul with this racket. It's just a little bit more dampened, a little bit more feel oriented supposedly. That's kind of interesting because those are kind of diametrically opposed ideas. If something's more dampened, usually it doesn't really give as much direct feedback. So I'm excited to see how this plays because I love the Boom. So let's check out the specs real quick. Here they are, so you can pretty much see it's pretty much same across the board. I like that it's a 98 square inch. That's my favorite head shape, head size. And the 16-19 pattern is actually on the tighter side, so it gives a nice consistent response. I also really like that 310 gram weight and 310 millimeter balance. That's ideal for me because it leaves a lot more room for customization. I usually put some weight in the throat here and also put some weight under the handle to give it a little bit more heft while also giving it a little bit more of a headlight whippy feel. Alright, so I know you guys have been waiting for this one. I have too. I finally got my hands on the Boom Pro. So let's jump on the court and test it out. But before that, if you guys like this content, be sure to overhead smash that like and subscribe button to keep the reviews coming. It really helps me out a lot. So let's start with the pros of the new 2024 Head Boom Pro. I liked the previous edition enough to the point that I actually bought it, and this new edition feels basically the same. Let's start with the specs. The thing that intrigued me most about the original Boom Pro was the 310 gram weight and 310 millimeter balance. This is ideal for me because it leaves a lot of room for customization, but it has a naturally headlight balance, so it plays well for me in stock form. The whippy balance of the Boom Pro allows me to bring it over my head easily on serves compared to more head-heavy frames. This leads to easy pronation on the kick serve and acceleration on flat and slice serves. The balance combined with the massive sweet spot makes this one of the best serving rackets I've ever used. I don't have a long reach, so I can use all the help I can get on serves, and the Boom gives me confidence on my service game. Although the Boom doesn't have any built-in spin technology that I know of, I could really get my kick serve to come down hard and kick up fast. It also comes around easily when I want to cut the ball from the side on my slice serves. The Boom enables me to produce the three facets of serving I'm looking for, which are speed, spin, and precision. Needless to say, if I tossed the ball in front and caught it dead center, the massive sweet spot allowed me to hit powerful flat serves as well. Next up is the ground strokes. From the very first hit with the original Boom Pro, I was very impressed with the pace and precision I could produce on my forehands. I'm pleased to say that also carried over to this new generation. This racket is so easy and accessible on forehands that I didn't mind getting into long baseline rallies. That typically isn't my forte since I'm mostly a net player. The thin beam cuts through the air well and I was never late on my swings. The 16-19 pattern produces decent spin, but the power is surprising for a 98 with a 22mm beam. The large sweet spot is the reason for the power, and I didn't miss hit often with the boom. This racket gave me confidence to take full swings even on fast incoming shots, and as long as I struck the ball in front of my body, I rarely missed the sweet spot. This also meant I could square up and crank back returns with ease. I like to step in and take the ball early, and the boom's generous sweet spot meant I could catch the ball cleanly even when my opponent hit a fast serve. I could take control of the point, and it made breaking serve easier. The generous sweet spot and power also translated well to my net game. It was so easy to scoop up low volleys off the ground because of the maneuverability and stability of the boom. This is where the boom has a leg up on the speed. The speed shines mostly from the baseline, but I don't find it as easy to volley with. The boom is easy to hit defensive volleys, but also packs a punch when I step into them. Overheads are also easy to make solid contact on and put away. I actually struggle on hitting overheads, believe it or not, and I tend to swing very compactly. But with the Boom Pro, I could take a big swing with confidence, and if I connected, my overheads never came back. Although the Boom Pro has a 16-19 pattern, it is actually on the tighter side compared to the Boom MP and the Speed MP. This meant it produced a low launch on aggressive swings, which is something I need. I don't play from behind the baseline a lot. When I'm trading ground strokes, I try to hug the baseline and take the ball early to take away time from my opponent. The low launch of the Boom Pro kept a lot of my aggressive shots inside the line. However, I did have to be careful because the Boom Pro has a decent amount of power outside the sweet spot but not much control. If I caught it outside, I sent the ball flying past the baseline. The low launch also meant I could hit low gliding slices without much issue. The thin beam of the racket allowed it to cut through the air fast. I noticed a lot of string movement in the upper hoop of the Boom Pro, and that led to good snapback and produced biting slices that stayed low. The Boom Pro is also a good defensive racket. By now, I must sound like a broken record, but again, the large sweet spot made hitting outstretched ground strokes easier than usual, and defensive slices were also easy to control and hit deep. Lastly, I have to mention that because of the unique shape of the boom, it rewards clean hits in the upper portion of the string bed. Advanced ball strikers usually hit the ball up there anyway, and this is something I'm trying to improve as well, because I tend to hit the center of the strings instead of the upper center. But the boom feels so good when I strike it clean in the upper third, and I felt so much command when I was on a roll and hitting cleanly. This just made the Boom Pro an extremely fun racket to play with, and at the end of the day, that is really all I'm looking for in a racket. Now let's get into the cons of the Boom Pro. Honestly, I don't have much to complain about. I love this racket just like I love the previous one, which is why I bought it. If there's something I would nitpick about, it would be that Head hasn't really done much to differentiate this racket from the previous edition. If you already own the previous Boom Pro, I don't think there is any need to upgrade to this one or future generations unless Head makes a major overhaul like they did with the weight and balance of the Speed Pro for 2024. Also, I personally think the Boom Pro is a bit too muted. I can still hit touch shots, drop shots, angle volleys, and precision shots without issue, but that has more to do with the ease of use when swinging the boom rather than the response of the frame. I miss the more responsive head rackets of old like the Liquid Metal series or the Graphene XT series, but I know many players complain about arm problems, so it only makes sense for Head to give players what they want. If you want something comfortable, the recent boom is comfortable enough, although I would recommend the Gravity line for its plush feel. And lastly, the Boom Pro plays well in stock form, but there are some things that I just can't seem to hit seamlessly, such as my two-handed backhand and my aggressive punch volleys. For these shots, I need a little more weight and heft to give my shots a little more pace and to control the speed of my swing. Since I'm swinging with two hands on my backhand, the racket comes around my body too quickly at times and I catch the ball too early, sending it wide. On my aggressive punch volleys, I just end up pushing through too much and my ball sails too high. I customized my Boom Pro with weight in the throat to give the racket more heft and control, and also some weight under the butt cap to make it more whippy to produce more spin on kick serves, since the boom has no built-in spin technology. I would just make the same tweaks with the 2024 version to fit my game better. So, who is the Boom Pro for? It's for aggressive all-court players who like to take command of the point and want a racket that plays well from all areas. I think the Boom Pro has something to offer for everyone. If you're a baseliner, the power and generous sweet spot will produce good pace on ground strokes. If you're a doubles or net player, the Boom gets good pop on serves and volleys. If you're more of a pusher or counterpuncher, the large sweet spot will help there too. I don't say this often, but the Boom Pro doesn't have a defined weakness in my opinion, so I think just about everyone can use it. It's a very accessible racket that leaves room for customization for advanced players who want just a little more. So that's my take on the 2024 Boom Pro. I love this racket just like the previous one, although since it doesn't offer anything new, I won't be buying this version. What do you guys think of the new Boom? Or even the Boom line in general? What's your favorite racket in the head lineup? Let me hear your thoughts in the comments, and until next time. Thank you for watching this review of the 2024 Head Auxetic 2.0 Boom Pro right here on OpenCourt. If you guys like this content, be sure to overhead smash that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in an OpenCourt.